Alright, I'm back with another video. The Scrambler 500. I'll do a little quick walk around. Looks like it's got an aftermarket radiator from what I was told, a racing aluminum one. It's got the DG front bumper, which I can't even find these parts no more online. It's got a cool little moose shifter right there. Then we got this cool exhaust on here with a super trap deal on the back, and right here you can see it says AAEN, so that's a AAEN exhaust, and the header pipe all the way across. It's got the Fox shock that comes stock on this bike. We got our parts right here. Just came in the mail. I just got them. Hopefully they're right. Carburetor right here, brand new, because it'll start and run and then it just bogs out. So I've already checked the camshaft. I've already adjusted the valve lash. Got a new Nietzsche fuel pump, Nietzsche carburetor. I like Nietzsche stuff. I roll with it. So got into a little accident here. 2-3 stitches should be in my hand, but they're not. Hard-headed. I didn't go to the hospital and get it done. I'm one of those old timers that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And even if it is broke, it'll heal. Stupid little accident I had, got mad and punched something that had glass around it, and that's all it took. So I got to have my girl come out, and she's going to swap the carburetor and fuel pump. But we're going to do whatever's easiest first, which looks like the carburetor will be the easiest one to do first. I just want to know which one it is. I know I can swap both of them and it'll run most likely, but we're going to swap each one and see which one it is. So I'm going to pause it and get back to you in a minute. Okay, so this right here, if I'm not mistaken, once the camera's done spazzing out, this is the idling screw. If you turn that up, it hits right there, and then you can't work the throttle. It gets stuck. So you have to loosen that, which is your idling. So that doesn't make any sense. That's your idling screw. So I'm guessing the way Nibby has it is, we're gonna try to use this and back this out for our idling to set our idling adjustment. Just want to make a note of that. And this was a piss poor design too. There's hardly any way to get anything in there. The old OEM carburetor it was very easy to get it off. This is Nietzsche. It's always my next go-to over OEM. I love Nietzsche products. I've never had an issue like this ever in my life. And I've worked on a lot of stuff, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep rolling with it. Plus, I don't even know if this line is hooked up right and this line's hooked up right, because I'm guessing this one feeds the bowl because it's by the bowl, but this is not oriented the same. If you look, we got one on this side, and this right there where that goes in, the throttle cable, that's on this side on the Nietzsche carburetor. So this part there, that nipple's not even in the right spot, and then that nipple's on the opposite side, of course. So I'm going to use my common sense and say that that's what fills the bowl right there. I don't know if any of you Polaris sportsman groups can help me out once we get to that point, if I have a problem with it. That's just weird that this won't set to idling, and the only other way to do it is to tighten up the cable, and to tighten up the cable you would use that. So bear with us while we figure out what's going on. Plus, it's got 3 block offs, 2 here, it's got 2 here, that was a phone call, that's capped off, and then 1 here capped off. And on my other one, we don't have any of that, nowhere. But somebody had already used RTV on this carburetor, and they've been all in here, obviously. That just didn't happen by itself. But it would only idle, it would only run long enough to not even run the bowl out of gas. I mean, it would just start for, you know, maybe 3 seconds, rim, 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 and it bogged out and died. So we're working on getting the choke cable in now. We got it off of the other carburetor. See, it was easy on the other carburetor. We could use that instead of the brass fitting. We could use that as the screw to screw it off. So we're gonna see what's all in there, but it's probably just gonna be this stuff here. So there's probably another brass thing in there, babe.
Yep. Very carefully.
So get that out. This better work good. I'm not really thrilled at this point, but that looks like
Let me get it.
there's a screw in there.
No, it's not a screw. It's a, well, it probably is.
Looks like it's a screw in and out type right there. And this one here, I can't tell with one hand if that's got a screw head on it or not. But no, it's a screw. So I don't know, is this gonna screw in right? What, does Nibby make their own throttle and choke cables now or something? I don't know. That's just different. I'm a two-stroke guy, man. I build two-strokes. I just wanted this Polaris 500 scrambler because I'd always heard they were indestructible and a great bike, and I've done nothing but run into problem after problem with it. I'm gonna put you on pause and let's see what we can do here. She's gonna unscrew it and see if we can get this screwed in. But
look at that.
I'm gonna put you on pause. Okay, well, as they always say, you should have had the video camera running. We got it to run, and it started, and it ran wide open. I mean, loud, and it scared me and gave me some PTSD because it was revved out to probably 8,000-9,000, however high they rev. I don't know yet. I got to go look. But I had a two-stroke do that to me one time while I was on the bike, and it scared me. I tried to turn the key off just like I did on that two-stroke, and it stayed wide open. I'm talking about blow fire out the back of the carburetor. And I had to stick my hand over the carburetor for a second till it would kill all the air and die and shut off. So it's covered. Tomorrow's another day. I'll bring the fire extinguisher and we'll figure out what happened to it then. But I could have had the idling screw turned all the way in on that Nibby carburetor, that Nietzsche carburetor. Sorry, excuse me, Nietzsche carb. Not too familiar with it, but the screw didn't look like it was touching anyway. So, and then when you tried to screw it in, it would make it to where the throttle wouldn't even, you couldn't even give it throttle. So I don't know what's going on with it. Tomorrow's another day. I'll bring the fire extinguisher. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully all it was that, you know, the idling screw was turned up too far. And that's just the way it was when, you know, we put it on. So but yeah, it was dieseling as far as I know. I guess dieseling is when you turn the key off and it's idling, or it's revving, I should say, so loud, so revving so high that you turn the key off, and it did die for a split second and went, rah, boy, ah! And then I freaked out and panicked, and I put my hand over the carburetor because I'd already turned the key switch off, and that it only bogged it for a second. It didn't kill it. But when last I remember when that happened to me on the two-stroke, if I remember correctly and I'm not mistaken, it's called dieseling, where it already has the fuel and it keeps sucking fuel, and it already has a spark and it keeps creating spark. So I don't know. You guys can tell me more about this this four-stroke stuff. One of my first four-stroke projects. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.